Oh no, it can't be, but my baby, he possesses some awful powers. Aquaman is having a baby. Well, Mera is. But because it's Silver Age Aquaman, it's about to get very dramatic. It's time to meet the Aquababy. No, he has no name. Not yet, anyway. I'm actually in the midst of a quest to try and find out exactly when he was named. How long did it take us to get to Arthur Curry Jr.? If you know, please share. It'll cut down my search. Because currently I'm tracking it to when he died, and that's depressing. But we're not there yet. We're at his birth. Hooray! I was on a quest for Silver Age pregnancy stories. Because when I announced my pregnancy a while back, I had an idea that I was going to do a bunch of different pregnant storylines.
You know, maybe I can do a lot of cringy pregnant plot lines now. That'd be pretty fun. Some of from the worst to the best.
That whim faded. Catwoman, you can't even do a jumping jack. How are you going around roofs and heels at 3 trimesters pregnant? But what did not fade was my desire to find something in the Silver Age. What could survive the code? How do you do it? In an era where showing a silhouette of a pregnant woman is considered suggestive, how do you get this across? As long as you can't see anything, then people can't make any connections. Because if you see a pregnant woman, then you have to think about how that happened. Too much. So while I was on this train of thought, I remembered the Aquababy. He debuted all the way back in Aquaman 23 from 1965. So firm Silver Age. The silver is not yet tarnished. This story is doing so much, and I wanted to share it with you. All hail the Aquababy. Greetings, comic lovers, and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from music, comics new and old, to history to anecdotes, really wherever our whims take us. My name's Sasha. I need to stop leaning forward when I film these. I get really excited and I try to like lean into you, and then it makes it weird. Aquaman 23 is written by with art by Nick Cardy. Early Aquaman credit can be a bit hard to track at times. This issue comes right after the issue we covered here on this channel with the duplicate Mera, so if you missed that, check it out. It just jumps from that regular standard Aquaman adventure to this, he's having a baby. Aquaman apparently was just there to have firsts that people don't really acknowledge. First on-panel wedding, beating out Reed and Sue over at Marvel in the Fantastic Four. Ralph and Sue Dibney did get married before Aquaman and Mera, but they did it off-panel. With Aquaman, we get panels. And Aquaman is the first Silver Age hero to sire a child during publication. The phrasing. They're being so careful with it. Note they say during publication and not on panel. That would be a very different comic. So let's see the siring. Joy turns to tragedy with the birth of the Aquababy. Eek! With his little hand, Aquababy create a monster fish. Where do his deadly powers come from? What turns the Sea King's son into a tiny bundle of doom? The phrase tiny bundle of doom brings me joy, even though I can't say it without thinking about Dr. Doom, who is surprisingly good with babies. The teaser page is so much. We see that Aquababy is being exiled. Why? Because he has fantastic powers and they don't take kindly to mutants in those parts. He's here at last. Who? Only the cutest little bundle of joy the underwater world has ever seen, Aquaman's first child. But amazingly, the blessed event of the year turns out to be the disaster of the century. Nice. A disaster not even the proud father himself can control, as Atlantis is rocked to the foundations by the birth of Aquababy. That was a good one. That was a good blurb. We open properly on Aquaman riding his seahorse around doing stuff. They're securing a rogue crab. King things, I guess. Now suddenly during this he's summoned. Mera's taken ill. Aquaman is a stand-up husband. He'll drop everything to come. This bothers Aqualad to no end. Silver Age Aqualad needs all the attention on him constantly. He knows he'll never be king. Maybe he should see about at least being able to call himself a lord. This video is brought to you by Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. With Established Titles, you can buy a small piece of the Scottish countryside. Very small. This in the service of both reforestation and afforestation. Both ways. And you get this nice handy dandy plaque with your lord status on it. You can blind people with the lights like I'm doing right now. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland. And an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. Established Titles told me that the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot. Within a few minutes or walking distance will be lairds of the trees. Established Titles looks to help preserve the picturesque woodlands and biodiversity of Scotland. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. It can also make a great gift for yourself or for someone you love. A title makes a great gift all year round. I got this one from my dad and he was kind enough to let me have it to film with, but I need to give it back post haste. Some also really enjoy the titling aspect and go hard. You could also officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your credit card, plane tickets, etc. Established Titles is running a big sale right now. If you use the code COMIC10, you get an additional 10% off. Go to Established Titles /COMIC10 to get your gifts now. Aquaman could use some kind of zen that comes from planting a tree, but he's not gonna get it here. Hey Aquaman, about this crab, it's still fighting. You and the others can finish the job. Mera needs me. When he gets to the royal chambers, he's informed that Mera is ill because she's pregnant. It's the first trimester. That sounds just about right. Is it the flu, food poisoning, or pregnancy? What a fun game. Maybe it's all three. Actually, some people have no morning sickness at all, or anytime sickness as it should be called, because it can happen at any time. Spin the wheel. What time of day will it be? Aquaman is thrilled. This is great news. A baby. Great. Did you hear that, honey? You're having a baby. What? Aquaman, don't you understand? Didn't your mother tell you? I mean, I hope so. I hope he understands the base mechanics of how this happened, or there's gonna be a lot of little heirs running around. Tell me what, old man? How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Tell me what, old man, that this would be the happiest day of my life? This is terrible. You don't know. You don't know that any child of yours will not survive because of a rare malady that affects your family. What's more, the mother of any child of yours will also perish. Well, you seem very aware of this, royal physician, advisor, person in position of authority. Should you not have told him? This seems like very pertinent information for a couple trying to start a family. Just, oh, by the way, let me tell you about the family curse. Aquaman, what is he saying? But doctor, I survived and so did my mother. Only because your mother took a serum just before your birth, which counteracts the malady's effects. Wait, so Arthur knows and he didn't tell Mera? He just assumed it would be fine? Pregnancy is risky enough without having all of the risk factors not disclosed to you. Hiding pre-existing conditions like the mysterious baby curse. It's just a malady. It does something. It kills you slowly for reasons. Is this a physiology thing because Aquaman got retconned to being part human? Because if so, that's actually well played and realistic. It's an acknowledgement of the potential problems of species compatibility, but it's probably just for drama. Then give Mera the same serum. I'm afraid the precious supply is gone. You will have to get more from the same source, the root of the rainbow anemone that grows only in the Gulf of Terrors, a long, long way from Atlantis. Why did no one plan for this? He's the king. This will be his heir. This has been so badly handled. You know there's gonna be a bunch of conspiracy theories about how this was actually a plot to get rid of the heir and the queen at the same time, but really it's just gross incompetence. So Aquaman has to go on this quest to get the serum for his son. Mera already knows it's gonna be a boy. Don't worry, honey. I'll get enough of that serum so we can have all the children we want. Thank you, darling. I feel so much better already. Despite the fact that they said that Aquaman's mom had until the birth, Mera has like 5 minutes. So Aquaman summons Aqua Lad, says a tearful goodbye, and they're off on an adventure. As they ride to the Gulf of Terrors to secure the serum, they both start thinking about the future. What will it mean now that Aquaman's gonna have a baby? What a day it will be. Don't move, Dad. Take life easy. You've earned it. I'll go on your next patrol. Thanks, son. I am feeling my years. While in Aqua Lad's mind, a baby for Aquaman and Mera. Gee, I just never expected it. Where does that leave me? I can just picture what'll happen someday. Aqualad, you're not needed around here anymore. As Crown Prince of Atlantis, I'm booting you out forever. And when he kicked him with an actual boot. He's the prince of puns. Also, why isn't Garth any older in this vision? He's having this dark fantasy. But the imaginings of the underwater aces are suddenly cut short when our destination, the Gulf of Terrors. Come on, Aqualad. We're not letting a gloomy chunk of undersea real estate frighten us. Time is precious. But is it free real estate? They're being watched by a shadowy figure who says he'll make them pay for entering his domain. First up, attacked by sirens. They use their song to lure Aquaman. Aqualad is unaffected though, so he just sees them as crones rather than beautiful ladies. He has to tie Aquaman to a seahorse so they can get past. I see someone read the Odyssey. That was a very exciting part. Next up, the lava pit of sludge that's also quicksand. Their seahorses, or imps as they call them, abandon them and they must trudge through the muck until they start sinking. Aquaman sends out a psychic distress call and just at the last moment a giant squid comes to save them. Listen, whoever you are, I've come peacefully to get a serum from a plant that grows in this gulf. 2 lives depend on it. He's very sketchy in this panel. I'm curious what the behind the scenes story is about that. It's probably just time pressure. Well, now their observer says that he must fight him in order to pass, and arises as a sea snake, but when Aquaman tries to grab him, transforms into a sea urchin, a shapeshifter. Great waves, now it's changed into a giant poison anemone. Correct, Aquaman. I can assume any shape I choose, so how can you possibly defeat me? This is a very daunting foe. There are some incredible sea creatures out there that I would not want to fight. Going up against a person who could change into them at will just in a moment's notice, that would be pretty daunting. So Aquaman has to use his wit to trick the shifter into injecting his shirt and top with poison, but not him. He fills it up, makes it look like it's him, it's a whole thing. Also, he's living life by Captain Kirk fighting rules, meaning if there is an opportunity in any way to get your shirt off, take it. I'll short circuit the chains right now. Oh man, he knocks him out with the same glove he tricked him with, just adding insult to injury. And so the shifter assumes his original form, and Aqualad calls him an old man. But I don't know, he doesn't look that old to me. Not as old as the man Arthur called old at the beginning of this issue. This is Sinquo. He was a criminal exiled from Atlantis because After that, he found this Guelph, and somehow it gave him the power to transform. So he's just using them to be a jerk. Soon, here is the serum you need. I'm old, and perhaps the bitterness I feel towards Atlantis is vanishing. May your family grow and be happy. What? Thanks, Cinco. As ruler of Atlantis, I'll see about obtaining a pardon for you. You've been exiled long enough. Has he? What did he do? That was anticlimactic, but you know what's not? The quest to get the serum back to Mera. Because a volcano erupts, burying Aquaman and Aqualad, so Aquaman has to send the serum on ahead through a series of sea creature messengers. And they need to hurry, because Mera has hours left. The plot convenience-itis is accelerating. There's no cure, except when there is. And so we're introduced to the hero of this issue, this fish. This little fish swims so hard to get the serum to Mera that it dies. The poor little thing, it died from the strain. I found that more upsetting than I thought I would. They had better have a proper send-off for this fish, on a proper fish funeral. It took us hours to dig free of that coral cave and hours more to search for the serum. We never found it. I thought we'd be returning for your funeral. The serum must have fallen into that little fish's cranny. It sacrificed its life for me. CA. Okay, so rejoice, she lives. Now it's time to handle pregnancy in the Silver Age. How do we do it? By skipping to the end. Just cut to when it's over. Past the pregnancy, past the birth, just, you know what? Time skip. A few months later. They don't even tell you how many months specifically because they don't want you backtracking to be able to figure out how pregnant she would have been while this was going on. How many months? That is too much information. My goodness. She is in the family way. We don't talk about that. She should just go to a room somewhere and never come out. Anyway, wholesome, family friendly, unveiling the baby. That baby is at least 8 months old. He's waving and everything. And suddenly the story just detours. Like, it very much feels like it should be done, but then it just keeps going because we need to make the teaser page happen. That hasn't happened yet. Suddenly the Aquababy just conjures up a giant sea creature. Oh no, it can't be, but my baby, he possesses some awful powers. Its gigantic jaws jammed open helplessly, the threat fades into nothingness. Aquaman, what happened? Our son, he's some kind of sorcerer. I don't think so, Mera. My hunch is that Cinco tricked us. He must have put something into the serum that gave Aquababy that power to treat that fish. I was about to ask, why would Cinco do that? But then I realized why, based on the reaction of the Atlantean people. He is bitter as heck and he wants this baby exiled because that is their first response to everything. In fact, it just takes one more instance when the baby's powers go out of control and destroys a building and they're worried he's going to destroy the dome. They then decide that they need to exile this baby. This was 4D chess on Cinco's part. I hope that Aquaman didn't already pardon him. Now, Aquaman, of course, decides to leave with his family. He doesn't even think about it. They just all go together. So who succeeded Arthur then? Did he just leave a power vacuum? Is there just a horrible power grab happening right now in Atlantis? Someone call the Ocean Master. But enough of that. Hark, an alliteration for Aqualad. The aquatic ace. I like it. While they're exiled, some monsters happen upon them. Horcas. And Aquababy is able to fight them with his raw beam powers. But in the process, he uses them all up, so Aquaman has to dive in to save him. Abruptly, the beast goes limp and, my baby! So the Horcas were mutants who were seeking to invade the kingdom of Atlantis. The Aquababy is a hero by destroying them all except for one that Aquaman then got. And he's lost his powers, so he can come back. Exile over. Yay, they have a king again. Atlantis seems like a very unstable place to live. And that's the Aquababy. It feels like two separate stories, and the second ending is very much an afterthought. The first part of Aquaman having to go through trials to get medicine to save his family is decent. You know he's gonna make it, but they put the effort in to make it feel like there's stakes. It's not the best on the Mera front, but considering this is a 1960s pregnancy plotline, she's doing a lot for the time period, even if it's just dying for most of it. And at the time too, it wouldn't have been as common a plot, because it wasn't a topic that they talked about too much. So in a way, acknowledging that there were risks at all is interesting, even if they are just vague and in the air. The story also highlights how family-oriented Aquaman is at numerous points, which was endearing. He doesn't even hesitate about leaving with his family when his son's in exile. Although one may use that to call into question how good of a king he is. The ending, with the Aquababy having powers and then not having them. Pure padding. And yet there he is, the Aquababy. All code approved for Aquaman. He came, he sired, he was exiled, he came back. It's a pretty average story, and despite this little first baby factoid, doesn't stand out too much in the annals of comic history. It just didn't make a big splash. Now they do incorporate the Aquababy going forward, and some of those outings are amazing. Why did I say it like that? Amazing. So that's one example of a pregnancy storyline, sorta, in the Silver Age. The solution? Skip to the end. Keep it vague. Focus on other things. Any surrounding details we can. 10 out of 10. Juvenile delinquency averted, society maintained. Seriously though, when did they name the Aquababy? It is very amusing though to just go through story after story and just, oh, the Aquababy. So that was the Aquababy. What am I doing? So that was the Aquababy, and I wanted to share the story with you, and now I want to hear what you think. What do you think of the introduction of the Aquababy? What do you think of how they handled Mera's pregnancy? How did you feel about the surprise powers that are suddenly gone? Just tell me all your thoughts down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day spent discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.